I'll just begin. It came to my awareness this weekend of a book that I read years and years ago, and they've made that book into a movie. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. And if any of you have read that book in the past, I encourage you to go find it and reread it, because this man, James, wrote this book years ago, and he basically, it was like he was a visionary of what was coming. And as I'm looking out at what's happening on our planet right now, everything he was writing about, it's happening. And that prophecy is really fulfilling itself. And a big part of his book that I feel is so important is the part where he explains the power struggles that humans have been conditioned into. Kind of their behavioral habits is a way to take energy from each other. And it's because many of us are not connecting with Source directly. We're not understanding how to fill ourselves up, how to reconnect with Source, which is exactly the link to our confidence, to our wisdom, our inner knowing. It's the exact connection that is necessary for health and wellness. And so this ability to connect is in all of us. We all have the opportunity and the potential to connect with Source. We all, in fact, are connected to Source. If we're living, if we're breathing, speaking, then we're connected to Source. However, many of us don't realize that, and so we create something in our minds that creates a sense of separation. And so the belief systems that we attach ourselves to, or any of the inner dialogue that tells us that we're less than, that we're not good enough, we're not quite there, we're not worthy yet, these are all examples of the egoic mind. And so when I'm making reference to the ego or the egoic mind, that's what I'm talking about, is that part of yourself internally. Like when I work with clients and a client says, well, I have this dark voice inside that, tells me these certain things, they refer to it as a dark voice because it feels negative. It's a lower vibrational energy. It's typically focused on fear, and it can be very, very detrimental and damaging to a human's potential, to a soul's full potential of what they're here to give this planet and to share their gifts. And so the reason I feel it's important to address this is for everyone, but I am in the healing world, and as I work with clients as a healer, I sense that so many angelic earth angels that are awakening right now, that are feeling led into careers where they will be assisting as a healer or a light worker, they really need to understand the importance of clearing ego, because if we're entering into these situations, into these realms without clearing that ego energy, it can really be damaging to ourselves and to others. And I'll give you an example. This is not really necessarily in the realm of like the healing world, but I do look at physical fitness as an aspect of healing. And I've been a personal trainer and a fitness instructor for 16 years. And I recently was hired as the coordinator for a company, and to come in and really to, look through my eyes and see, like, what do I notice that could be improved upon in this company? And one of the things I noticed right away is some of the instructors that are really in alignment, they enter, they're one with their class, with their students, they feel connected to them, they encourage them, they speak truth to them, and they challenge them, but they also are with them. There's no stimulation of ego or competition happening. And in other classes I took, I realized that the misalignment was there was instructors that were stimulating ego. They were talking down to their students. It was almost like in one class, I felt kind of like I was in trouble. Like, what? Am I in trouble? Like, I just feel like she's mad at me. And so often the ego energy will present itself in the form of a controller, And it will go back and forth between controller and often victim. And the egoic energy is always kind of messing with you internally and saying you're not good enough, so therefore now you're a victim, you have no power. And then it will shoot over to the other end of the spectrum and say that you are superior and you are more than, and it will project its power upon others. And really, no matter which one is happening, it's really not necessary, and it can be very damaging.
Yeah,
and big picture, if we're, for example, going to take a fitness class and we're new to that class, we've never taken it before, we're kind of maybe shy, we're not sure what we're doing, we hope that, we'll make friends, and we hope that we won't hurt ourselves, that we know what we're doing. And so when we enter that space, there's a lot of vulnerability there, and there's a lot of courage to enter a space and really, open ourselves up to new experiences. And so I feel an aligned teacher and assistant will really honor that and will really encourage that person to grow and to flow in their full potential, and teach them how to do that safely, how to do that with joy and with efficiency.
Doing good today.
And a teacher that's projecting anger and control is really just showing me that they are not in control of their own energy, that they do not feel confident in themselves, and so that they now feel a need to take the energy from those around them. And so the reason I mentioned the Celestine Prophecy is that book is so amazing in how it explains these power struggles and these power dynamics that happen, where we learn them in our childhood on how to get energy. So for some of you, maybe you can relate in your childhood of, you wanted attention from your parents or your teachers, or your peers, and in order to get that, you had to be the victim. You have to cry, you'd have to kind of throw a little drama scene, and for me was the way that you got attention. And for others, maybe that didn't work for you, or you just didn't feel drawn to that way, but you found that being aggressive and overpowering others and intimidating them, that was a way to get the energy you wanted. So you would lash out, you'd be aggressive, and often you learn these behaviors from the misaligned adults in your life. And so most children are going to pick up on this stuff from watching the adults in their life and how they handle energy and how they attempt to gather and fill themselves up. And then there's the energy of aloofness, where we just, I don't care. I'm just going to pretend I have no interest in that. Nothing you can say will impress me. And all of these energy stealers, I call them, are really not beneficial or necessary. And it really is what's caused a lot of the damage and misalignment across the entire planet. If you think about, you have in relationships, two people in a partnership fighting and, butting their heads for power. And then you can see it in a community when you've got, different community leaders and they're aggressively going at it for power. We can see it on a planetary level with different countries battling with other countries, or religions battling with other religions, or with non-religion. And it's basically outside of us happening all the time, because internally it's happening. So in order for us to clear and shift all this violence and all the aggression and all the misaligned energy that's happening in a physical way externally, it really is going to begin with self. We have to look back internally, and we have to clear that egoic energy from inside. And marvelous. At first, it may seem really frightening for someone to release
marvelous their ego, aroma, marvelous taste.
They build a lot of themselves up by that. Like, if you really believe that you being the CEO of the company is what makes you important, it's what makes you worthy, it's what makes you...
It tastes so good.
You think it makes you more important than another, then if that energy, if that title's taken from you, you will suffer greatly, because your ego made you believe that that's, what made you valuable. And so really, as we release the ego, it's going to create such a cleansing in our spirits so that we can enjoy life and just flow. And that's really what I feel my mission is on the planet, is to help and assist with this way of looking at life with gratitude and joy, and enjoying the ride, enjoying the journey. It's really, life is here for us to be enjoyed. And when we're entering life with a clean slate, our energy is clear, we know that we are one with Source. We meditate, we connect with nature, we allow the life force to flow through us and live through us. We really operate at a much higher functioning level. We're in a higher vibration.
Amen.
Things just kind of work out for us when we're in that place. The doors open, the opportunities come in, people are kind. We just, when we are in that vibration, we can see and sense the difference. However, some are still having the courage to cross that bridge from the 3D old egoic way of making things happen and crossing into this more intuitive space of allowing and trusting everything to flow through you. And so I really feel that it's important that we understand that, and that we can see that not only will clearing the ego help us personally, it will help benefit all the relationships in our life. All those that we connect with will have more beautiful, authentic relationships from connection, rather than these relationships that are superficial and coming only because of a title or because of a projection of power, to where others listen to us because they have to, they're told to. And I think that's kind of, when we look at the old structure, it's kind of like growing up as children, you're told to listen to authority and not question it. You're told to just do what you're told, be seen, not heard. And we see these structures like the military, where in order to get all these beings to fulfill a mission that others think is important, that they want them to do for them, they basically have to put them through a boot camp, and they have to degrade them and break their spirit, talk down to them, make sure they understand the hierarchy so that they won't question authority. And all of this has caused a lot of suffering and a lot of damage. And some people, are doing it still to this day in the military systems, but it's also happening in families. It's happening in, a fitness class. And it's really just not necessary. And we have room for evolution here. We have room to really clear and release this old way so that we can allow space for the new way to enter, where we can sit amongst each other as equals, as one, where we can come from a place of unity consciousness and realize that we are all one, we are all important, we are all connected to Source, we are all one with Source. However, not all of us know that necessarily, and so that's really the difference. It's not, am I superior to another, or are they superior to me? Am I inferior, or are they inferior? It's really, do I understand my oneness? Am I awake? Am I aware? Am I living with awareness? Or do I feel less than, and am I still asleep? Am I still kind of going through the motions and not understanding my direct link with Source, not understanding how worthy I am? And all of this will really affect you in your lives. So an example we can look at with ego, how it could affect a person. Let's say that you're a healer, and you have these powerful gifts, and there's gifts that you'd love to share with others. Yet, deep down, you feel you're not worthy, whether you're conscious of that or not. Let's just imagine this person is not conscious and aware of that. And they feel they have to just give everything away. They have to just help everyone that comes along, and they don't accept any abundance. They don't accept any help back because, no, I'm the healer. Let me help all of you. this will create an imbalance very quickly. And I say this with healers in mind because I know I'll be attracting many healers that will be led here, and the angels told me many